Okay, so today we're going to be going over the tune S.K.J. This is a 12-bar blues by Milt Jackson, and the recording I based this off of is Baggs meets Wes. So it is Milt Jackson, the vibraphone player, with Wes Montgomery, the guitar player. It's an excellent recording, excellent rhythm section, really swings, so you should definitely check it out when you're working on this tune. So it's a very simple melody based off of the minor pentatonic scale. We're going to be in the key of D flat, so we're going to learn our D flat minor pentatonic scale, and we're going to be using the position that starts with the root on the A string. So here's the whole position for the D flat minor pentatonic. Okay, so you want to get that down first, practice those notes forwards and backwards, and then the melody is going to be using triplets. So if you can practice playing triplets with that pentatonic scale, that'll really help out with the melody. The melody actually starts on a triplet, but it's the second note of a triplet. So it sounds like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay, that's the main riff. Let's slow it down. So you're going to have to flatten that index finger to get some of those notes. Here it is again. Flatten. And then back. Okay? So in the 12-bar blues, you're going to play that in groupings of 3. You play it 3 times, and then there's a little ending. So after the first 3 times, we have... You can slide into that note if you want. Okay, now that is just the first time. The next 2 times, it's going to be like this. Okay, so 1 note difference. And for the 12-bar blues, you play this figure in 3 sets. So let's go through the whole thing real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. That's the first set. 1. That's the second set, and then the third one, 1. Okay, and that's the last set. So it's very simple. And what I would recommend doing is work that out first, be able to play it slowly, and then try to play with the first part of the video. You can slow down the video on YouTube. So you can go into the settings. If you click on the setting wheel, slow it down to about 0.75, that's 75% speed. Try to play along with that, and then try to play it up to speed. Okay, once you can do that, I would also recommend going back to the original recording and trying to play along with that as well, so you can really get the time feel, because Wes Montgomery, the whole band just sounds great. So it's a really good way to work on your timing and get that sounding really solid. Okay, so let's move on to the chords now. This is a 12-bar blues in the key of in the key of D flat, and during the melody, they're playing a traditional jazz blues. So they're playing the 1 chord, going to a quick 4 chord, back to the 1 chord, the 4 chord again, back to the 1 chord, a 6 chord, then 2, 5, 1, and a turnaround at the end. But during the solos, they add in some chords. They have some substitutions. So we're going to learn those because if you know how to play these chords from the solo changes, then you can also play the chords from the melody. So let's start with the one chord, D flat. It's a D flat 7. Okay. And then we have our 4 chord, which is G flat. Okay. Back to the 1 chord. Okay, so that's the first 4 measures. You have the 1 chord, 4 chord, back to the 1 chord. And then we get to the next line, the next 4 measures, where we have the 4 chord, the G flat 7 again. But here's where we change. Instead of going back to the 1 chord, we're going to go to an F minor 7th. Okay, so what this is, it's the 3 chord in the key of D flat. Okay, so if you're soloing over this, you might want to think about the D flat major scale or an F Phrygian. You could think Dorian as well. Either one of those could work. So that's your F minor 7th. After that, here's some more substitutions. This part is really cool. We go down a half step to E minor, or E minor 7th, A7, then D major 7. So this is a 2-5-1 in the key of D. Really interesting substitution in the blues because the key of D is a half step up from D flat. So really cool to have that in there. And what happens afterwards is we scoot up and we're back to the last part of the blues where we have 2, 5, and then 1. And at that point you can do your turnaround. So here's the 6th chord, B flat, then your 2 chord again, back to the 5 chord, and then you repeat. So when playing this tune, and most jazz tunes, especially jazz blues songs, you're going to play the melody twice, then you're going to take your solos, and then you're going to play the melody 2 times again at the end. So with the backing track that I have on my Patreon, that's how I have it set up. I have the melody twice, and then you can take some solos a few times through the song on the solo changes, and then at the end, you play the melody 2 times again, and that's the tune. For soloing, you can primarily use that D flat minor pentatonic scale. It'll work on most of the chords, except for that little section in the middle. For that, you want to start working on some of your modes, especially the D major scale. That'll help because it's a 2-5-1 to D major. So make sure you work on that. And I'll put up a link to some videos that I have on different scales and different modes that can help you out for soloing on that. All right. Thank you guys for watching. And again, if you want that backing track and you want the PDF, check out my Patreon. I'll have some links in the description below.